Obviously, there is no one expression of autism. Autism is, and I was diagnosed as having Asperger's syndrome, which a syndrome essentially means a constellation of symptoms that are unrelated otherwise, okay? And I think that's important to understand in the same way that we could stand here and look at the sky and we see Orion, we see the Big Dipper, but if we were to go to the moon, those same images, those same clusters that we see and recognize, we wouldn't see them from a different perspective. And basically that's what was happening, or what happens very often, and why as a child, there was no discussion of autism. Autism, meant a much more classically presenting person who had a lack of verbal skills and really clear, almost quote unquote, institutionalizable challenges. But if you look from a different perspective and you understand, then you can sort of spot those same clusters, those same symptoms. And for me, what being autistic meant growing up, it was explained away usually as the fact that I'm an only child, and I was often told that I was too smart for my own good. And I have to say that sometimes I've joked, but it's kind of true. Would anyone say that about a little boy? I don't know. That's an odd thing to say. And so I sounded like a little professor would be what the teachers would say. Oddly enough, that's exactly the phrase Hans Asperger used to describe the little boys that he tested. I preferred the company of adults oftentimes. I would delve headfirst into subjects that fascinated me. Specifically, I can remember, and this is often the way we are, is I would read an entire, part of the library, entire shelf on a library. So everything about dinosaurs. And for 6 months, I would know it was Dinosaur World, and I would be on there with every bit of fact. Or lots of biographies. And that I've found is very unique, but common to women and girls on the spectrum, and that we're studying, we're learning how to be, is a phrase that one woman used. And it's true, whether you're studying how to put yourself together physically, what your demeanor should be like, what ambition should look like. We are literally memorizing details and putting together a persona in a way that tends to be a little bit different from the way that boys do. I was bullied terribly, and for sure the butt of a lot of jokes because I fell for things easily. And then the sensory things, but nobody believed that. There was no vocabulary for sensory issues. My grandmother took me shoe shopping. I can clearly remember this. And we must have gone through like every pair of shoes in the entire store. But to me, every single one hurt. Just like the tags on my clothes hurt. And if I didn't say something and I said no, and then I didn't wear them, I was going to be in trouble. You don't have a vocabulary for things like, it's just too loud. Well, get up, deal with it. It's too loud. Everybody thinks it's too, whatever. So yeah, it was just too smart for her own good and oversensitive. That's what you would be told. And I certainly was told.
For more information about social and emotional learning, please visit readingrockets.org.